The truth is, if you're a high six-figure earner inside an online business, if you don't take care of this simple mindset problem that I'm going to try to solve for you today, you might very well just burn seven figures. That's not an exaggeration. You have an incredible amount of potential. The ideas inside your head, the offers, the services, the business, the giant plans, whatever it is, genuinely will make a lot more than $1 million. You know it. I know it. The whole world knows it. Trust me, there's enough proof out here. You guys are literally seeing videos every single day on YouTube, whatever, of people less qualified than you making a lot more than this money. The main difference, I believe, in with working with all my clients and having listened to quite a lot of high 7, 8, and 9-figure earners say, is their mindset and ability to get through some of these roadblocks and to have the plan in place that we're going to talk about. But I want to accentuate all of this with a quote from a rap song that I heard that really just totally changes, the way I view going through these problems and what we're going to talk about today, right? And you guys, as I said, stop overthinking and choose what you got. What the fuck you got to lose? How you expecting the crew to do right if the captain is moving confused? Right? And this is going to really put exactly what we're talking about. It's like, but if you jump, don't do it for them, my dog, do it for you. Because whether you fly or fall, you're in for one hell of a view. We're going to break all this down, but just know this is some absolute sauce. I would listen to this song if you're feeling any low frequency vibrations to get you to make sure you don't do it. So simple 3 steps here. I'm going to deliver all this information in a quick, concise manner. So please don't get scattered monkey mind, start clicking on other stuff. It's not going to help you get to your goal any faster anyway. In fact, that's part of your problem. We're going to talk about that, right? Number 1, in order to guarantee that you don't burn $1 million this year, you need to audit and change the way that you view and believe your business and your life has to go. In fact, if you're earning high 6 figures and you are still not fully living in autonomy of what you want to do, you're not offering things you want to offer, talking to the people you want to talk to instead of focusing on what you think you deserve. If you're doing all the work, if you have now bought yourself a high-paying job, listen, I know people that make 10, 15K a month and they hate it because the thing that they have to do that is a lot stressful. Like a bunch of these agency owners that just jumped into something that they thought that would be fulfilling, moved halfway across the world to Bali, and they're hoping and praying, and now they're stressing out every month and can't open an email without crying, right? I understand. We need to audit what we're thinking on a day-to-day basis, what's going on inside this wall. Not what we post on Instagram, not what we tell our friends and family, not how much money our business is making, not what the revenue says. What are you actually thinking? Right? Like, what do you actually feel like? Because a lot of successful people talk about this one problem. When you're somebody who's experienced a lot of success on paper, or at least a level of success that to most of the people you're around would be much higher than them, then you kind of get alienated, right? To where you feel like you can't really talk to anyone about what you're going through because often it comes with statements of guilt like, oh, it must be nice to be worrying about this. Oh, I wish those were my problems. If I were you, I would do this. And they have no context at all of what you actually go through inside your business, inside your mind, inside anything, right? And so as a human being running a business, I can't stress this enough. You guys go through all my other videos, you understand this is the main theme. You are a human running a business. And the human part of you cannot work like these AI machines and everything that we're talking. I don't care what kind of David Goggins personality you think you have. You're a human being. You have to do things that speak to that side of you. You have to make sure that you're taking care of the human running the business first. If the leader is moving confused, how can the crew do anything? If you are watching this video, you will burn $1 million by not showing up as your best self. Why? Because by example, you will show every member of your team to do the same thing. And by example, when people who you hire come in and half-ass, well, that's because you do that, right? And you're not doing it because you have a lack of ability. You're not doing it because you're not able to. You're just not auditing and changing the mental state of your mind so that way you can show up as your best self, show up as the leader you want to be, show up as the person you want to be that you know is already receiving the next level in business and get the result. Like, how many more videos like this do we need to really watch, right? We just have to audit, though. So many people go through not auditing. They just skip through like, it can't be that. It can't be my mindset. And you guys can go watch my other testimonials, most people that come to work with it, they don't know it's their mindset, right? And then they do something that changes their mindset. Nothing really else changes. The results dramatically change. Why? Because you making a decision will go leaps and bounds over just sitting there passively letting the problem continue to hurt you while doing nothing. That's what burns the $1 million. Business owners are capable of making 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 extra $1 million in their business, but by allowing themselves to get comfortable with the 6 figures or get comfortable with whatever thought process they're going through and not audit and change the things that are going on in their brain, they get stuck. And they don't launch the new idea. They don't scale the thing. They don't keep hiring people. They don't run the ad. They don't keep making videos like this, whatever the case is, right? So number 2, once you have audited and you decided to change, you've made a decision, you need to enact emergency surgery. We need to get the bad stuff out now. We can't wait. There's no time. We got to rush open the bed. We got to get you on the table. We need to get you knocked down in anesthesia and get the problem fixed, right? This is a serious matter. Taking too long to make this decision. The point of the emergency surgery is that you're compressing time and you're getting it done now. So that way in the long term, we don't have to deal with it. And some things, while yes, they could appear to not be a problem right now in your mindset and your business, right? It may not appear to be, if you're somebody who runs like a blue collar, most of the time I'm talking online business, but let's just use an example of like a blue collar service-based business. There are so many people who I know that they have the bottleneck of too many jobs and not enough people working for them that are properly trained to their standard. And they let that bottleneck just sit there. Why? Because they're making high 6, almost some 7 figures, low for $200,000 a month, $4 million a year, right? Of course, they're comfortable doing that amount. When there's competitors doing 9 figures, why? And the competitors didn't start off at doing 9 figures. They started off at the same part. They got to a bottleneck when it came to scaling. They figured out a system to bring in people, and they were able to craft that higher version of themselves or leverage other people, do whatever, build the company to the size that they actually want, and make a lot more than just $1 million extra. What I mean by you need to do emergency surgery is like whatever the pertinent problem is or bottleneck in your business, we need to, in your mindset, really, we need to strike. We need to get it done. We need to bring in a professional, whether it's a therapist, a coach like myself who takes on, like whatever the case is, you need to bring in someone, let them know what's going on, let them know the process, because half the time when you just express your thoughts to another human being who's qualified to just sit there and not judge you and be able to validate, it's a whole nother thing that they can give you some extra advice to point you some clarity. But just even having someone to just speak out loud to, half the time you realize the crazy limiting beliefs that you have. Half the time you realize, oh my God, it's so much easier than I've been making it. It's so much simpler than I made it seem. And it's okay for that to be the case. A lot of times people want it to be complex because then it's okay that they didn't figure it out sooner. Let's drop all that. Suspend the judgment. Let's just be happy, do the emergency surgery, get the stuff out, not worry about it. So then we can move on to the 3rd step, which is the daily maintenance of your mental health and leadership skills. There is no leader on the planet who doesn't daily water their mind and their leadership skills. All right, obviously you're doing that. You're watching this video. You probably, if you aligned with this whole message, that means you've definitely have done maintenance and have worked on your mindset and been able to do personal development. The thing is, are you doing it every single day? And if you really ask yourself, look at all the times in your life where you had the most positive results. It's probably not just from grinding your face off. It was also when you were feeling the best mentally, when you were on top of your game. So if we know that that's when we get the best results, we can't allow momentary circumstances, bottlenecks, situations, lack of people, whatever the case is, to affect our ability and our plan to put a daily maintenance of our mental health, of our leadership, of our personal development. There is attacks every single day from whether the company, there's always going to be fires to put out. As an entrepreneur, that's what we're doing. We're putting out fires and we're trying to grow the business at the same time. All day, every day, 24/7. Okay, so if there's always things going on outside, and Neville Goddard, one of my favorite teachers, he explains this. He says, if it's raining everywhere around you, pouring down rain, What's the one way that you could instantly change your state? And it doesn't even matter if anybody else's state is. You could basically stop the rain for yourself instantaneously. Well, that's opening up an umbrella. As soon as you open up the umbrella, the rain is no longer hitting you. You're not the one being affected. The rest of the world getting rained on. Everything around the umbrella getting rained on. You are now able to stay dry. You can go through the circumstances with a different level of comfort. Now, what represents an umbrella, right? That's a daily maintenance or a daily mental health plan. I made an entire 33-minute free training. It'll be linked somewhere below. I don't know if it's at the end, whatever, in the description. But it's literally something you guys can spend 15 minutes per day on, and it will move mountains, print $1 million plus in your business, especially if you're already doing 6-7 figures. You just need to get to 7 or 8. There's no way that you showing up at your highest self will not make that happen faster. It's just simple math. People who are watching you that you don't know, they will do better because you choose to do things for yourself. 15 minutes per day, daily maintenance. You did the emergency surgery. You got out the bad stuff. You said no more. You put your foot in the sand. You said, I've had enough. I'm going to be the best me. And you can do all that for 100% free, 15 minutes per day, right? It doesn't take a rocket science. It's not the most difficult thing to do. It is very hard to be consistent with because it's easy to do everything else. It's easy to sit and allow your problems to stack and to let the anxiety build and to just focus on doing more projects and to just focus on growing the company even more or to opening a new location or to doing the things that you love to do instead of the nitty-gritty work that you know actually moves the needle. We got to do it, right? If we follow these 3 steps, you're going to be much farther ahead. You have a much stronger chance of not burning $1 million for your company. And if you need help, you want me to bring in and come in as that professional, do the emergency surgery on your mindset, really audit what's going on, go you through the program that we've used to help lots of business owners 2 to 5x their business. You can book a call with the link below. Peace, love, and prosperity. I'll see you on the next one.